welcome to the locker, season 4, episode 11. As you can see through my tweets, and I'm only on here solo dolo. My man A Dot is under the weather. So as brothers do for other brothers, we step up to the plate and keep things rolling. So hope everybody has had a pretty good weekend. Although I know there were some things that happened this weekend that was not happened for the we lost. It's unfortunate that we lost. And I know the sad thing about all this is that for me is for these kids, because a lot of fans don't, from what I've heard, from what I have seen, that some fans don't understand that these kids really care about the brand on the front of their chest. They care about that. If they didn't care, they wouldn't have came. But sometimes the fans get a little personal because they don't like the guy who's the leader of the program and forget about the kids. For some of these kids, as when I played football last game, some of those guys, it was their last game. They didn't have an opportunity to go to the next level and continue their craft. This was their last game. And some of those guys, some of the walk-ons, that's it for them. That's their last day of drilling a ball for money. And I saw it money because you're getting a free education, so to speak. These guys are getting NIL. It's their last time to do it with their brothers, because it's hard to explain, but you spend more time with those guys in the locker room than you do with your family, than you do with if you have a girlfriend, than you do with obviously your parents, because a lot of guys are away from home. There's a lot of time that you are spending away and you spend with them. And it's truly become a brotherhood. Now, I played on a team. We had, 80 to 100 players. I can only imagine the bonds that you create when you only have 15. And the way this team has gone through the ups and downs of this season, and for it to end like it ended, fans need to understand and give them a little grace and understand that they are young kids, and that it's going to take them a minute to process what happened. Now, I'm going to say this. This is the weird thing about it. I didn't see the game at all. I was at a middle school track meet, and then I was at a high school banquet. So I saw none of the game. I had a coach coming up and update me. We were up, then we were down, then we lost. But what I did look at is I didn't go back and watch the game, because to me is water on the bridge for me. I looked at the stats though. And I wish Anthony was on here and able to have this dialogue, because I know he saw the game. If any of you guys, I know you guys have saw the game live. But when I looked at those stats and saw the offensive numbers from Toppin and Reeves, I'm surprised that we were winning with what less than 4 minutes left in the game. For Reeves to shoot what he shot, his percentage, and for Toppin to play how he played on paper, and I saw that, I thought we should have, Kansas State would have beat us by 10 to 20. So for me, not watching the game, And for people to say Cal is getting stale with his approach and all this stuff, I mean, I don't know what those shots were. Were they open shots? Were they not? But to go over for a minute is pretty tough for you being your best shooter on the team to be able to pull off a tournament game. And I think that over these last couple of years, like this is the weird thing about basketball, and this is like football too. Like I hear a lot of fans saying, well, why don't we schedule a harder opponent during the season? Or why didn't we get XYZ player? Why didn't we get the kid from Lexington that was a legacy guy whom I played with? He goes to Clemson. There is a couple things that is hard to understand. It takes two to tango. Even though we might want XYZ kid, that XYZ kid has to want to come here. And I think that for some of fans, BBN, is that we feel like just because we have Kentucky across our chest that every kid in America wants to come here. And at one time, that was kind of the case. And that's the same thing with teams like Miami in football, teams like Oklahoma in football, teams like Nebraska in football back in the day has had to come to realize that now that brand is not the same as it was in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. Especially in basketball, for me. It is extremely difficult nowadays in the AAU circuit for a kid who is the true dog for his team to say, aha, I'm going to go to another situation with a bunch of other dogs and I'm going to become just another dude on that team. When I can go to XYZ school, for example, Bryce Hopkins went to Providence and he was their dude. I can go to another institution and be their dude and put up great numbers and still get myself to the league. For me, these last couple of years, I personally believe that Cal has done an awful job of recruiting. I don't think it has anything to do with X's and O's and all that stuff. Because watch these games. I'm going to say one more thing. I'm going to pause. Watch the women's game too. Watch these games and see how on situations that a really good team can say, I'm going to give it to my best player when the shot clock is going down and he's going to make a shot. He's going to get us a bucket. We didn't have that dude this year. We didn't have that dude last year. We don't have a dude where when everything breaks down, hey, Ryan Howard, go get us a bucket. Or when things are going negatively, hey, Ryan Howard, let's stop this 8-0 run. Go get a bucket. I said it on this show. I said it on Around the Shots. I've said it on other shows. To me, this team, even when we were going through the good times, was not a well put together team. For me. And then when you lose Severe Wheeler, a lot of people don't that is a hot topic in BBN. But one thing that kid gives you is effort, attitude, and he tries his best. And I don't, like I said, I can't say too much about the game because I didn't see it, but I will guarantee you that he could have gave us some minutes in that game. I don't know if we win. You guys can tell me more, but his availability would have been huge for us. His change of pace, his ability to be kind of a veteran and has been through the ringers. Oh, now that I don't know. Anthony, you can tell me more. I mean, you can type me more. Was he actually unavailable? Anthony asked, was he actually unavailable? I have no idea. So was he healthy enough to play? And he didn't play? That would be interesting. But with all this stuff, with football and the other major sport, baseball, is that to crown a champion is a lot different than in basketball. Now, let's see if I can use this. Now, when I was perusing through Twitter as I go down my timeline often, every day, I came across this little stat. I'm going to try to share my screen. I'm going to actually show who I got it from. Let me see if I can do this, y'all. Anthony is the guy usually be behind the scenes who handle all this. And I think I can do this. Let me see. So now I'm going to share this screen. Now, this is from Steve Moody. Anthony has told me a long time ago that we have to give credit where credit's due. And what is that called when you give your sources? I guess just give your sources. Give him my sources. Now, this is Bill Self. Bill Self. Now, many will say he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. See, can I share this again? Now, this is since 2004. Now, this is crazy when I saw this. So, first season went to Elite Eight. Next season, out. First round. Then he went to, what is RR? Regional finals, maybe? Win a championship, Sweet 16, then second round out. Elite Eight, second round out as a 2 seed. Sweet 16, second round out as a 2 seed. Second round out as a 2 seed. If you look at that, that tells you how extremely hard it is for this tournament. If he doesn't win to get to 2 championships, well, that last season, would you want him at Kentucky? If you look at that resume, in 2019, out in the second round, 2021, out in the second round, 2023, out in the second round, 2022 at a championship. The last 3 out of 4 years, he didn't make it to the Sweet 16. And this year, he was a 1 seed. Would that be? Would you be okay with that at UK? Well, it seems like Kansas is okay with that. Now, I understand he did win a championship last year. I get it. So before last year, Self only had 1 championship. And before that championship, he had back-to-back second-round exits. Back-to-back second-round exits. And that's in how many years have Self been at? From 04 to 23. But Gabi, yeah, okay. Now, are we going to go with regular seasons or are we going to go with tournament? Because from what I hear, everybody wants a championship. And Bill Self has been, when did Cal come to UK? Tell me, when did Cal come to UK? Let's see. Cal came to UK. I'm sure somebody has before me. In 2009. Cal came in 2009. Bill Self was at in 04, 5 years. He's been at Kansas 5 more years than then Cal been here, and he has won one more championship. So, I mean, his exits has been his exits. Like I said, before that championship, the previous 2 years, he was back-to-back second-round exit. Single-digit losses during the season. All right. If that's what it takes, then I mean, I guess so. I mean, I can't explain it. It's just weird that I heard during the season that we were a football school. I'm gonna say Cal has absolutely sucked at recruiting these last couple of years. That's just it. He has absolutely stunk it up these last. I'm gonna say what? 2020, we had a good season, bailed out by COVID. 2021 was a horrible season. 2022 wasn't. People forget how good 2022 season was until the St. Peter's. I understand the St. Peter's. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But the season that we had, going to Kansas, whipping their ass, beating Tennessee by a 3-piece, we had a really good season. Injuries kind of derailed us, but that season wasn't so bad in 2022. It's overshadowed by the St. Peter's. See, that's the weird thing. People talk about the Cal offense. The Cal offense wasn't a problem this year. It was the freaking defense. That defense was horrible for the majority of the season. If you look, and here's the thing, we have analytics people. If you look at the analytics, the offense wasn't an issue. If you look at analytics, the problem was the defense. Now, I know people is kind of like when my man Anthony and Tim Couch and Craig Yeast were putting up monster numbers at Kroger Field. Remember those days after I left? That defense was the reason they didn't go further. And that's the same freaking thing that happened here. But people love and fans love. Oh, we love putting up points. Defense is what wins you championships. And that was the issue, really, the majority of this season, is we couldn't stop a cold. And if here's the deal, it's kind of like UK football. People hated the Eddie Grand years. Oh, hated it. Oh my God. Oh, it's disgusting. Their offense is so predictable. But there's a thing, and even in it's on all team sports, it is complementary aspects. Now, basketball, you don't have an offensive defensive side. The same guys play both. But the same thing happens in basketball. If you play great defense, offense is a little easier. If you play great offense, you are more engaged on the defensive end. It's complementary. And people like to shoot. There you go. People like and want us to shoot the three. Oh, they want us to be like everybody else. Oh, why can't our offense shoot more threes? As I've said before, comparison is a thief of joy. Oh, wait. Put John back up again. John said he loves the John. Anytime you want to come on this show live and give any of your knowledge, you are one of the handful of people who will literally say out loud and put your name behind it that you love the Eddie Grand offense. That is not what the majority of BPN would say. Oh, why are we doing this? The Wildcat. Oh, why are we doing this? Well, no, Anthony, you different. I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about the fans. The things that Eddie Gran did and the ability to adapt his offense to the level of talent and the level of available players he had at his disposal is so underrated. And like Anthony said, he was a Gran fan. We talk about this all the time. Is that what he did week to week with what he had? Sometimes, I know we're talking about basketball. Let me get off of this because I'm a grandstand. When you have Drew Barker, then you go to Steven Johnson in the same season. That's one season. He had Drew Barker. They practiced all summer, all fall. You went from that, and 2 games later, you lose him. Now you have Steven Johnson. All right? Steven Johnson leave. Now you got to find another replacement. Then you go from Terry Wilson. When Terry Wilson gets hurt, then you got to go to Sawyer Smith. That's another offense. Sawyer Smith get hurt. Then you got to go to freaking Lynn Bowden. That's 3D offenses in one season. And here's the deal. I think we all saw last season when Scangarello had pretty much a spring, a fall, a summer, and a fall to install his offense, how much issues we had with the players buying in, accepting, executing his plan, right? So now you have a guy who taught 3 offenses in a matter of weeks, or 2 offenses in a matter of weeks, and executed and still won games. Is so underrated. Grandpa was he's attached himself to an Cobb. Coleslaw was the problem. And when you said that, it immediately brought me back up to my days at Kentucky. Coach Curry did the same thing. He hitched himself to some guys that derailed his success at UK. Now, I got stories of we were supposed to have a different OC, and that fell through. And if we had that OC, maybe things might have been different. But that same thing is loyalty can fuck up your success as a coach. And I don't know Eddie Gran well, but seems like he's a loyal guy. And Coach Curry is by far, his stamp is loyalty. Same thing. And it derailed Eddie Gran just like it did Coach Curry. Speaking of football, since we're on football, I'm gonna stay with that. There's a couple other things I want to talk about, but I'm gonna say this. I've got information from spring football. Now, I'm not like some other people who ears on the ground, got 10 toes down in Lexington and knows a lot of information. But I saw a picture, and it's something to see it live, not live, so it wasn't live, to see a video of it and to see it on paper. Keyshawn Silver is that dude. And as a former defensive player, and as a guy who understands the 3-4, and I've said this many times on this show, when we had Big Q, then we had Bully. The most important player on the 3-4 is the nose tackle. And a lot of people have complained these last couple of years, and I keep telling people it's not the end of the world. People complain about not getting sacks. Oh, we're not getting enough sacks. And as a corner, honestly, I didn't want sacks. 1995. Was it 90? No, it wasn't 95. 1994. because I didn't play 95. 1994 in Kroger Field, we were playing Commonwealth. I must keep going Commonwealth. In Commonwealth in 1994, we was playing Vanderbilt. And that 1994 team, 1994 and 1995 team, I know people, the record in that 95 team. That 95 team was a really good team. Probably for me, the best team I played on. In 93 team, we actually went to a bowl game. The 95 team, a couple plays here or there, man, we would have. I'm not going to talk about it. So, 1994, playing Vanderbilt. Chris Ward, who ended up in 1996, at that time having, I think he tied the single season record sacks. Quarterback. They ran a comeback. I knew the comeback was coming. Same formation. I think it was 3rd and 5+. They love to run the comeback into the boundary. So as I tell my players, you don't guess, you anticipate it. So I had anticipated. And for one of the few times coach called man to man, when that guy put his foot in the ground and I knew where he was going to put the foot in the ground, I broke. I had a pick six. Easy pick six. Easy. Until Seward put his hands up and knocked the ball down. So for me, I just want the quarterback to feel the pressure. Let him throw the damn ball so I can get that pick six. And if we had a pick six, we won. I think we lost some crazy 10-6, some 94 season. Look at the 94 season. Those are the kind of scores that we had to deal with. That would have been a game where I say pushed up the middle. So reason why I say that. So when Josh Allen had his career sack year, we had Big Q up the middle. When Boogie and who's the other guy? When Boogie had his decent season, he had Q up the middle. We got some sacks early in Bully's senior year until he got hurt. We had a guy who was pushing up the middle. Here's the reason why. As a guy who played quarterback, if I can't step up in the pocket, and how many times have you guys heard me say, Will Levis, why don't you climb the pocket? Climb the pocket. The pocket is clean. Your feet are clean. Climb the pocket. Josh Allen, when he got his whatever amount of sacks that year, he was able to bend the horn and still get sacks. You know why? Because the quarterback was unable to climb the pocket. He was unable to change the launch point, and for Josh to have to go all the way around and have to retrace and try to come back at him. If you look at those Josh Allen highlights, a lot of those sacks, he was able to bend the corner, drop his shoulder, get around that tackle, and sack the quarterback at where he was when he took his drop. You know why? Because we had pushed up the middle, and the quarterback could not step up to avoid the tackle. I'm saying it right now, 8/31, March 22nd. We are going to get back to having a high sack year. You know why? When you got 6'5", and there's, I don't know, Keyshawn 6'7", 6'5", 6'5 plus, whatever, 300 plus pounds, two guys who can move with Deion Walker and Keyshawn Silver, the freaking pocket will be pushed. And J.J. Weaver should have a field day this year. He should have a field day this year. Because you know why? When he comes around that corner, I'm putting it out there that the quarterback, the opposing quarterback, will not be able to climb the pocket. See, Anthony's trying to be funny. Losing Rodgers. hurts because you lose a body. No doubt about it. But there were guys who came along towards the end of the year where losing that body doesn't hurt as much because we got Keyshawn Silver. I'm not sure. I can't remember how big Rodgers was. But Rodgers was not 6'5". Rodgers did not have the arm length. I think you told me, Anthony, that his reach is 80-some inch, some 8 foot, some crazy wingspan. So if he's got 8-foot wingspan, he's over the center. And we know, you and I both know, Rodgers did not get pushed. He got pushed around, but he didn't get pushed. Now I don't know, John, which one you replying? Are you insinuating to? Are you saying that he got pushed around or he got pushed? Because Rodgers didn't get pushed up the middle. Now, did he have some big plays? Sure. I'ma just say this: the big play that I remember, it was almost like he was invisible and the guys didn't block him. He had a big play against Iowa. He had a big play, another one sometime late in the season. Okay, he got pushed around. Thank you, Andy. You are my translator too. But I'm telling you, this defense, and here's the thing. I know the offense is going to be the hype machine. Let me pause. I don't know about the Rodgers didn't live up to the hype. This is what I'm going to tell you about Rodgers. Is Rodgers' star rating was really based on him on the offensive side as an offensive guard. I've read Rivals and somebody else saying that he was probably the best guard in the country, at definitely top 2 or 3. So his star rating was because of the offensive side. And I'm going to say, I have no proof of this. I'm going to say the reason he came to Kentucky probably was because we allowed him to play on the defensive side. Because obviously he didn't want to play offense. That's just coming from me. Don't have any, that's just me guessing. Because, like I said, when he was coming out, he was highly recruited. He was more highly recruited as an offensive guard, not as a defensive lineman. So I'm not sure the hype machine was up on him for what he ended up playing here. That's just my 2 cents. But the silver thing is so huge, especially now. The reason why I say that is because the reason why the nose tackle is so important, if you can think about it, you have a center, 2 guards, right? And our defensive linemen are really over the tackles. So just think about it. If there's no one covering up the 2 guards, they have direct access to our linebackers. Now, our linebackers last year were vets. They were dogs. Can't say enough about our 2 linebackers last year. And they left a bridge for these 2 young guys. And Thrower and Wallace in particular needs to be clean. Not because he can't take on a block, but he's athletic. And if you have a nose tackle, and then you have Deion Walker, those guards are occupied now in a run game. Because if you don't double Deion Walker, he has proven as a freshman that he will create havoc in the backfield. All right? Now you pair him with Silver. Now, one of those guards are going to have to chip on Deion Walker, and one of those guards from what I am accessing, from what I'm seeing, from what I believe, is one of those other guards going to have to chip on Silver. So you know what that means? That means Wallace can freaking flow to the ball because there's nobody coming at him right away. Like last year when we had Square in God, now I'm gonna get old, the Ole Miss guy who was
Yeah, Quez.
and Jock Jones. All right. Think about it. Those two guys had to take on. That's why I'm glad they had the vets and Jock and Square at linebacker because they could take on those blocks, right? But now you got a dynamic Wallace. I don't want a guard touching him, if at all possible. Thrower, I'm okay with being touched a little bit. I don't want Wallace touched. And Wallace won't be touched, in my opinion, unless an offense is think that their offensive line is good enough to go one-on-one with Walker and Silver. And if they go one-on-one with Walker and Silver, freaking Walker and Silver should eat. And if they don't eat, now that's a problem. Because if you go one-on-one in 3-4, you should eat. So for me, that's what's going to make our defense different this year. Because we're going to have a nose tackle who's going to command a double team. And now, offense got to make a choice. If you got a double that nose, so now you're going to leave Dion one-on-one. Now if you double Dion, now you got whoever's the other, Saunders, Ripka, whoever's the other tackle, D lineman. And one of those linebackers are going to be scot-free. And for me, I think our run defense is going to be better, which means, if you remember last year, there were some games where the offense were consistently in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. That's hard on me as a defensive coordinator to make a call because the offense has the whole playbook at their disposal. That ain't gonna be the case now, and that also helps my boys in the backfield. It helps my corners because it's gonna be a lot of situations, a lot of events where that quarterback won't be able to step into his throw, and there is nothing better for a corner to have that ball just elevate a little bit higher and overthrow a receiver, and you right there, boom, easy interception. See, I'm going to just say this. From what I think, I don't think Ox starts. This is what I see at this moment, and this is just purely guess. Silver's your nose tackle. Dion Walker's your boundary defensive lineman. And Saunders or Ripka is your field defensive lineman. Anthony, hey, you should put that as a scroll, as just scrolls on the top of the broadcast every week. That's what I see, and I see Ox as the rotation behind Dion. Here's the thing: it's hard for people to understand. You don't have to start to get reps. So what I see is Silver, Dion, and Ripka Saunders. All right. Then I can see Dion being able to play all 3 positions. Dion better get his ass in shape. I'm sure Stu is harping on that because then I can see Ox coming in, and Dion is so versatile he can move to the field defensive lineman. Now you got Ox, Silver, and Dion Walker, and on passing downs, I can see Dion Walker plugging in a nose tackle and having Ox and Ripka or Saunders. Anywhere it goes, that pocket is being pushed. There's nothing like penetration right up the middle. There's nothing like disruption from a nose tackle for any offense. And I'm like I said before, if you have to double team them, that just opens up the whole defense. It opens up the whole defense because somebody is a one-on-one. And on this level, if you're on scholarship on this Kentucky football team, if you can't consistently beat a one-on-one, that is a problem. And somebody on that sideline will be replacing your ass because they will be able to beat a one-on-one. And that's what made this defense so good in years in the past. And this defense hasn't fallen off. This defense has not made the big plays as we have made in the past. And one reason, if you ask me, is because we haven't had a disruptive nose tackle. When Q left and Bully took the reins, and everybody like, can Bully fill those shoes? For those few games when he was healthy, before he got hurt, Bully filled those shoes. A different kind of nose tackle, but it doesn't matter. When you're disruptive, you're disruptive. You can be disruptive by shooting a gap and penetrating that way, or you can be disruptive by commanding a double team and pushing that center back into the quarterback's feet, or pushing them back where the running back has to make a quicker move, disrupting his path to wherever hole he wants to go to. I wasn't sure when we got Keyshawn because he comes from a program where UNC, he was highly recruited. He went there and things didn't work out for him. But from what I've seen on the videos, and when you see him next to other guys, he is a dude. Now, I trust my guy, Anwar, to build him into the image that he sees him as. And that kid will be a big, as someone said, upgrade. A super upgrade, as John said. He is a super upgrade. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Again, the offense is going to be, for me, it's going to be probably the best offense in the Stoops era. As we all know, since Anthony can't talk, Anthony was a Will Levis hater. Anthony did not like Will Levis, but I did. But here's the thing: when Will came here, we had no idea what he would be.
Bullshit.
We had no idea what Will would be when he first came here. Will also couldn't get here until the summer. I have seen Devin Leary play. Devin Leary is that dude. Not only is Devin Leary that dude, he's also coming here with better pieces around him than Will had. On top of that, this is Liam's second time around. He understands SEC football a little better. He understands the hashes. Now, instead of going all the way to the damn Tennessee game until he realized it. He understands college football better. I think he appreciates the ability to come back. Things happen for a reason. This offense is going to be scary. When you got, just think about it. Will had Wandale and Josh Ali. Josh Ali got hurt. All he had was Wandale. Devin Leary has Dankey, Barry Brown, Tayshaun Robinson, Anthony Brown. He's got DeKel Crowders. He's got all these freaking tight ends. The only thing he's missing is, quote unquote, C-Rod. But now without C-Rod, you did bring in Davis. Jefferson's going to come back. I think McClain is going to flourish more in this season, in this scheme. And then you got the freshman. I like that combination of the running back. But I like more all that talent. I understand, brother. Here's the deal. This is the other thing. With the advantage of, I wouldn't worry about the tight ends. Dude, you know how many tight ends? We got Bates. We got Caddis. I'm missing somebody. Bates, Caddis, Dingle, Cummings, but that's another one that came back. I'm missing one of them tight ends. Bates, Caddis, but that's another one. We got more than enough tight ends. That's not the issue. But a quarterback whom an OC trusts can make a average offensive line look elite, can make a bad offensive line look good. That's the difference. As I've said on this show many times, Will's processor was a little on the 54K mode for me. You have a Pentium chip guy now. His ability to get from 1 to 2 is faster. And with that, I think that offensive line will look better because the quarterback will get the ball out of his hands a little faster. Now, that's without the freaking upgrades. When you got Cox from Northern Illinois, that's a big addition. Even with Flax, if you got to play him at right tackle. Last year, if you have one offensive lineman, you can kind of scheme to that one offensive lineman, especially if he's a tackle. You can slide to. There's things you can do you can chip, you can slide. There's things you can do to eliminate his inefficiencies if everybody else is on their P's and Q's. Last year, man, who was the dude? That everybody individually were not what we're accustomed to. Moving Eli Cox back to guard. And I said this a long time ago. I like Kobe Keenum. I like the true freshman. Me and Anthony played with a guy, Jason Watts. Came to Kentucky, started as a freshman. He had Slaughter on the guard. I can't remember the other guard he had. He was surrounded by really good players. I think Kobe Keenum, if Burton cannot handle the guard, the center spot by moving, I think Kobe Keenum could. And we go with him and surround him with Horsey and Cox. That to me, you got Cox, Horsey, whatever Burton or Kobe Keenum, and then Cox, then whoever wins that right tackle position, I think that offensive line way better than what we had last year. Just off top. Then you add it with a quarterback who has a Pentium chip, who can, I'm going to say this, I'm not sure. Will Liam Cohen allow a quarterback who has had multiple reps, years and years of being a starter, will he allow Leary to get out of a bad play? Will he allow him to get us into a better situation based on what he sees on the other side of the ball? That's going to be something I'm looking at too. But as a whole, offense, but the biggest acquisition of this year is Keyshawn Silver. Now, I'm going to touch on this. I'm going to stick away from that. Losing Vito, man, I hate it. And I don't hate it because for us as a team, because I honestly believe that the amount of depth that we have at safety, it won't bother us. I wish Anthony was able to talk on this with me. But this is what pisses me off. And this is me guessing again. Vito actions and attitude is his problem. However, I guarantee you that he was enabled by the coaches previous to his being at Kentucky. You don't come to Kentucky and start acting the way he has acted. And we all know Stoops is a player's coach. He cost. He was, I don't want to say he cost. He was a reason why, was that 2 years ago when we lost 6 players? He was the catalyst of that. That demeanor, attitude, all that shit is great on the field. I was a believer. I love guys who have that edge. I love guys who play kind of reckless. That can only be between those white lines. Once you cross over those white lines, that's gotta, when you take that helmet off, you become Clark Kent. But somebody from Little League to middle school to high school didn't pull that kid aside and say, hey, man, you can't do that. You can't behave and act the way that you're acting. I don't care if you hate me for it, but I'm going to sit your ass down because this is going to serve you better when you go to college. Obviously, for me, the people closer to him, his parents, guardians, brothers, sisters, siblings, whatever, uncles, aunts, didn't also do it. But as a coach, which means you are a fucking teacher, which means you are with that kid more than he is with his parents. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility. But it is. And somebody let that kid down. I'm going to say that with my chest puffed out without knowing the situation. I don't know where he's from. I know he's from Western Kentucky, I think. I don't know anything about his situation. But I'm going to say, I could be wrong. Either he came to Kentucky campus and fucking changed like that, or this is a history of little shit. It ain't got to be the what he did at Kentucky. It's the little shit. It's being able to get away with not coming to practice on time. It's being able to get away with doing stupid shit in a game. It's just getting away with not practicing hard. It's getting away with not doing well in school. And everybody's coming to bat for your ass. Oh, no, he's got a chance. Leave him alone. Boys will be boys. That kind of shit. I've seen that shit happen to a running back at LSU who went to a school here in Baton Rouge. He went to the NFL and was out in a heartbeat because people here enabled that kid. That's the same shit I'm seeing with Vito. These ain't the only two guys. But if you let a kid get away with shit as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school, it's going to fucking follow him until his career is ended. Now, sometimes he can get through college because he might be so good that even the fucking college coach continues the same shit. But when you get in the NFL, that shit is done. That shit bothers me because somebody didn't fucking cut the cord early. So this kid with his unbelievable talent and ability, because the talent isn't a problem. It's right here. And like I said, it's not your responsibility as a coach to do that. But you know damn well, you see that kid, you're around that kid, you got to do something. Anthony, you might be right too. but he's going to listen to somebody. If it's his mom, dad, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, whomever. There's been a community to me, and like I said, I don't know, who didn't freaking put this kid in the right place, and they waited too late. All right, we got a few minutes left. Two things I want to come at. Let's see if I can find it. And I sent this to Anthony, and I said we were going to talk about it, but I'm going to play it now because I don't want, because by the time I play it again, it's going to be over. Let me see if I can share this. All right. Now this Van Lee deal. Let me go back to the beginning. Now, here's the deal. I know this young lady because she played at DePaul and she used to kill Kentucky. Now, after the game, they got into this little situation. All right, Van Lee had to pull apart. But here's another thing that was. Look at her teammate right here. I'm gonna go back. Watch it. She ain't having this shit either. She wait. Look right here. Look how she kind of ease in. She listening. Let me get it back. Let me get it to the point. Look at her right there. She's like, wait a minute. I know you ain't talking to my player. You talking to my sister like that. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, no. None of y'all. Look, watch this. None of y'all. Don't even shake her hand. No. Look at. She's been a bitch. Nah, don't shake her hand. That's crazy. Now, Anthony said, as I tweeted this out, that we need to talk about it. He said that we don't need to go in, we don't need to have handshake lines after games. I don't know. I don't believe that. I do believe, like Anthony said, that these teams should not be interviewed right after the game, especially the losing team. These kids are young. Let these kids lose in peace. But I like all that what I saw. And the reason why I liked it, I don't know what happened in the game. I like Van Lee. I don't know if she was talking shit during the game where the Texas girl got pissed off and said, look, because I'm going to just tell, I know I had a story when I was in middle school. We had a dude similar to Van Lee who talked a lot of shit. And I went to a private school, we beat a big public school right down the street. And the guy was pissed. In the handshake line, he snuck one in. So he cold cocked him. He hit him in the face. So for me, Van Lee wasn't taking any shit, and that Texas girl wasn't taking any shit. And we said the girls' game is soft. It's not this, not that. Well, that showed you the competitor and the competitiveness in women's game. I loved it. But Van Lee has been in this girl's, she beat her at the Paul by like a 40 piece or more. Then she beat her in Texas was ranked higher. She beat about 20 piece here. She's pissed. She's heard it probably many times. Van Lee has been in her ass for her whole career. And now she ends her career as she goes to Texas thinking that I got a better chance of getting to at least a Sweet 16. And guess what? I got to play this damn girl yet again, and she eliminates me again. Like I said earlier, watch women basketball. Now, I got one more. And this play, before I go, this play got me. I'm not a baseball person at all. To me, I played T-ball as a little kid. And I played one season and I hated it. But watch this. So the girl rounds third base. She gets caught. Oh, now watch this. Can the catcher get how the catcher get beat by a player pointing at first base? At first, I thought this was for sure. For sure set up. Like this wasn't real. No, this is a real play. She hit her with the, hey, you better check out first base. First base not more important than home. What? Have you ever seen anybody get deep by a player who points in the field of play? That is classic. That is unbelievable. That got me. I watched that play at least 50 times because I'm trying to figure out why would she take her eyes off the most important prize, the person whom is about to hit home plate. She blocked home plate beautifully, but then she let the girl deke her with the point. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Hope everybody have a good rest of their week. And I hope Anthony feels better. And he's back next week feeling better. And we're able to get this locker room like it should be with both of us on this thing. So, all right. That's all I got. See y'all.